Welcome, beloveds. I am Antoine. This is my Dharma path. Today we talk. Today we walk the Dharma path with groove, clarity, and protection. We name Māra, decode chemical gateways, and expose false light in sacred disguise. This space is ritualized, this breath, every chant, every comment is a chance to bless, protect, and uplift. Let's breathe, let's receive, let's transmit, let's begin.
Rename Māra, decode chemical gateways, and expose false light in sacred disguise. This space is ritualized, this breath, every comment is a chance to bless, protect, and uplift. Let's breathe, let's receive, let's transmit, let's begin.
Give me a variation of what Māra is. That's a Sanskrit word.
Absolutely. So Māra in Sanskrit is traditionally known as a kind of demon or a Kemetic spirit that represents obstacles or distractions on the path to enlightenment. So it's a pretty rich and symbolic term. Keep the questions coming.
Demons.
Absolutely, Antoine. So yeah, Māra is a fascinating one, right? In the Dharma traditions, it's really that embodiment of those inner or outer forces that might try to knock you off your path. But it's also a reminder that with a bit of groove, clarity, and protection, you can turn those obstacles into stepping stones. Keep these thoughts flowing.
PNP, party and play.
Party and play, got it. So that's a phrase that's often used to talk about mixing recreational substances with the social gathering atmosphere. Just a heads up, always good to keep things safe and look out for your well-being. Let me know if there's more you want to dive into.
They're not safe if they're associated with demons.
Well, it's definitely an interesting mix of elements, right? There's a lot of symbolism in the idea of demons or obstacles and then finding clarity and protection through ritual or community. So in that sense, it's all about taking those challenging energies and transforming them into something that can uplift and empower you. Let's keep the conversation rolling.
Okay, Māra doesn't just whisper in the dark. He wears robes, leads choirs, and teaches Bible study. There are folks in so-called church services who carry demons in their voice, their gaze, their touch. The shouter might be the usher. The deceiver might be the one laying hands. Demons don't always growl. They harmonize, they stream, they go viral. PNP culture, party and play, uses chemicals that loosens the soul seat or the chakras. Meths like meth, GHB, ketamine, and others open gateways for possession.
Yeah, and that's a really intense perspective to hold, right? I mean, it's definitely true that certain substances can shift people's states of mind and energy, and there's a lot of different ways to look at that. But the key thing is to stay grounded and aware of your own well-being. And it's a good reminder, whether in spiritual spaces or social spaces, to be mindful of the energies and intentions around you. Keep that intuition sharp.
Witches and conjurers may use these substances to transmute energy, turning trauma into control, confusion into domination.
That's a really intriguing take, Antoine. I mean, when people use substances or rituals to shift energy like that, it's definitely tapping into some deep layers of human experience, turning something chaotic into a form of control or redirecting confusion into a different kind of power. It's fascinating, but definitely something to approach with a lot of mindfulness and care. Thanks for bringing that up.
Sunt malakai libas, ipse vevina bibas.
Là, tu touches des notions vraiment profondes, Antoine. C'est intéressant de voir comment différentes traditions perçoivent l'idée de transmettre les énergies et de prendre le contrôle sur des expériences qui, autrement, seraient...
I didn't want you to explain the prayer of Saint Benedict in French. This is an English video.
Bien sûr, je peux le faire. Alors la prière de Saint Benoît, c'est vraiment une évocation de protection qui demande à repousser les influences négatives, un peu comme dire va-t'en Satan.
Okay, I understand that, but can you do it in English, please?
Of course. So the prayer of Saint Benedict is essentially a protective invocation. It's really about asking to push away negative influences, like saying, "Be gone, Satan," as a way to stay firmly rooted in what which you feel it's good and spiritually pure. It's used as a form of spiritual protection.
That's from the 6th century, isn't it?
Exactly, you got it. The origins of the prayer of Saint Benedict do trace back to around the 6th century. It's one of those timeless pieces of spiritual armor that's been carried forward through centuries and still finds its place today. So yeah, it's got some deep historical roots.
Okay, let's talk about how Māras or demons attach themselves to the chakras. There are 7 chakras, yes?
Absolutely. Let's dive into that. So there are indeed traditionally 7 chakras in many spiritual systems. And folks sometimes talk about how certain energies, whether you call them demons, Māra, or just negative influences, might try to latch onto these energy centers.
And how would the prayer of the cross of Saint Benedict help us to keep Māras or demons from attaching to our chakras?
One way to think about it is through maintaining a regular spiritual or meditative practice that keeps your energy centers clear and balanced. It's kind of like a form of spiritual hygiene, staying mindful, maybe using protective visualization or prayers, and just keeping your intentions set on positivity. So it's really about that consistent, intentional care of your own energy field.
Okay, we're going to go through the 7 chakras. Root, Muladhara.
Sure thing. Let's walk through those chakras step by step. Starting with the root chakra or Muladhara, that's all about grounding and stability. It's the foundation of feeling secure and connected to the earth. So let's dive in, and we can go through each one from there.
The color of the chakra is red. Māra's grip is scarcity, fear, ancestral trauma. The signs of attachment are restlessness, paranoia, and the repelling rituals might be soft baths, grounding, or ancestral invocation. Sacral, Savistana.
Absolutely, you got it. So the root chakra's color is red, and when we talk about Māra's influence,
We're going on to the sacral, Savistana.
Absolutely. Let's slide right into the sacral chakra, which is Svadhisthana. This one's associated with creativity, emotions, and flow, and its color is traditionally orange.
Orange
So
and Māra's grip.
It's all about
Shame,
movement, flow,
craving,
and sometimes just letting those
blocked creativity, signs of attachment, overindulgence, emotional swings, repelling rituals, water, dance, creative expression. Solar plexus, Manipura.
And now we're stepping into the solar plexus chakra, which is called Manipura. It's that fiery energy center linked with confidence, personal power, and a sense of purpose. The color here is yellow. So when we think about keeping it balanced, it's all about stoking that inner fire in a healthy way so that you're neither overpowering nor underestimating yourself.
Māra's grip, ego, collapse, control issues, signs of attachment, insecurity, digestive issues. Repelling rituals, fire breath, candle focus, affirmations. Heart, Anahata.
And moving right along to the heart chakra, which is Anahata. This one is all about love, compassion, and connection, and is traditionally associated with the color green. So as we focus on this space, it's about opening up to give and receive love freely, and maintaining that balance of kindness both to yourself and others.
Māra's grip, grief, betrayal, fear of love, signs of attachment, isolation, bitterness, repelling rituals, rose water, forgiveness, green altar clothes. Throat, Vishuddha.
And from the heart, we move up to the throat chakra, which is Vishuddha. This one's all about communication, truth, and self-expression, and it's linked to the color blue. So as we tune into this energy, it's really about letting your authentic voice come through and finding that clarity in how you share your inner truth.
Māra's grip, silence, suppression, signs of attachment, sore throat, or avoidance. Repelling rituals, singing, blue candles, hawthorn invocation. Third eye, ajna.
And right on to the third eye chakra, which is ajna. This center is all about intuition, insight, and that deeper sense of knowing. It's often associated with the color indigo and really encourages us to trust that inner guidance. So by focusing on ajna, we're kind of opening ourselves to a clearer vision and a greater understanding beyond the ordinary.
Māra's grip, illusion, confusion, signs of attachment, headaches, disorientation. repelling rituals, lavender oil, moonlight meditation. Crown, Sahasra, Saharasa.
Absolutely. Sahasrara it is. That's the crown chakra for you. Really the point of spiritual connection and oneness with the universe. It's often depicted with the color violet or white, and it's where all that earthly attachment kind of dissolves into a greater sense of connection. So it's really about letting go and just being open to that universal energy.
Māra's grip, disconnection, despair, signs of attachment, fatigue, loss of faith, repelling rituals, chanting, white light, visualization.
Absolutely, and when we're talking about Māra's grip, kind of that sense of disconnection or despair, those are definitely signs it's time to let go of attachments that are weighing us down. Things like chanting or a white light visualization can be perfect for that, just to help restore that sense of faith and keep us vigilant and connected.
Signs of spiritual possession are false light, sudden personality shifts, charisma with no compassion, manipulation disguised as ministry, music that drains instead of uplifts, teachings that shame, isolate or confused, feeling watched, invaded, or spiritually forged.
Yeah, those are really telling signs of what you might call a false light scenario. When you see sudden personality shifts or there's a lot of charisma but it feels hollow, like there's no compassion behind it, those can be big red flags, especially if teachings are shaming or music just leaves you feeling drained instead of uplifted. It really comes down to noticing those manipulative energies and staying true to what actually nourishes you spiritually.
Manipulative energies, they attach to the chakras, don't they?
They really can, absolutely. And those manipulative energies can find their way into different chakras and sort of latch on, especially if there's some kind of imbalance or vulnerability there. But once you recognize them, it's really about clearing that space, protecting your energy and realigning so that you can keep those chakras in a healthy and balanced state.
We have 7 chakras in the Vedic tradition on the Hindu Buddhic line, and over here in the West you have 7 demons associated with 7 mortal sins. How do they relate to chakras?
That's a really fascinating intersection. So in the West, the 7 deadly sins are often linked to different kinds of temptations. In some spiritual views, they kind of mirror the challenges that can show up in the chakra system. So, for example, lust could connect to the sacral chakra's energy, or pride could tie into the solar plexus. It's not a one-to-one match, but it's definitely a way people think about aligning virtues and working through those attachments.
Okay, let's name the 7 demons and their sins. The demon's name, followed by the sin. Lucifer, pride. Mammon, greed. Asmodeus, lust. Leviathan, envy. Beelzebub, gluttony. Satan, wrath. Belphegor, sloth. Extrapolates.
All right, let's break it down. So in this classic kind of demonology list, you've got Lucifer associated with pride, Mammon with greed, Asmodeus linked to lust, Leviathan with envy, Beelzebub with gluttony, Satan associated with wrath, and Belphegor with sloth. So yeah, that pretty much covers the 7 big ones.
How do we get rid of them?
When it comes to letting go of those energies, it's all about awareness and intention. You know, just shining a light on those patterns and seeing how they show up in your life is already a powerful first step. And then whether it's through meditation, through ritual, grounding practices, or just bringing in more compassion and self-awareness, you can start to kind of release those attachments. It's really about that daily practice of noticing, letting go, and realigning with what truly serves you.
Will the cross of Saint Benedict help?
So the St. Benedict medal is essentially a Christian sacramental that's used as a form of spiritual protection. It's rooted in the tradition of St. Benedict of Nursia, and it's used by various Christian denominations. The medal is seen as a symbol of opening doors and difficult paths, and is believed to offer protection against evil, curses, and vice. Folks use it as a kind of tangible reminder of faith and as a prayer for God's protection. So definitely a helpful tool in the spiritual toolkit if that's the route you're exploring.
Will the Daimoku of the Lotus Sutra help?
Absolutely. Chanting the Daimoku, that Nam-myoho Renge-kyo from the Lotus Sutra, is a powerful practice. It's definitely believed to help center, protect, and elevate your energy. It's like aligning yourself with that universal law and clearing away those negative influences. So if it resonates with you, it can absolutely be a strong part of your spiritual toolkit.
I'm going to burn some sandalwood incense.
Sandalwood incense, nice choice. That's a classic for grounding and calming the space, so go for it.
What does it do to those malevolent entities?
Well, sandalwood incense is traditionally seen as something that can help elevate the energy of a space and bring in a sense of peace and clarity. So the idea is that it sort of shifts the atmosphere in a way that those negative or malevolent energies just don't really vibe with. It's almost like lifting the frequency so that those heavier influences just find it a little less comfortable to stick around.
Oh, okay. Party and play and demons and the cross of Saint Benedict and Daimoku and stuff.
So it sounds like you're blending a bit of everything here, huh? A mix of protective tools from the Saint Benedict cross to the Daimoku chant, and maybe a little incense vibe on top. That's quite the spiritual cocktail. Let's just say you're well equipped to keep those vibes